Hey traders, checking in on the stock market today. So after Powell provided a catalyst on Friday to rip the market higher, we saw some continuation in some places today and also some consolidation in others as our market rotation continues. Let's sort it all out on the charts. So to kick it off, we got SPY with the daily bull flag confirmed. When we last checked in, we were looking at the daily consolidation. We were comparing it to the previous V-shaped bounce, set the daily higher low into the higher high, keeping the daily EMA 12. We were going to see how much consolidation, what's the retracement look like. In the end, bull flag with Powell easing any fears of rates being raised in the short term, and we're ripping to all-time highs. So that's our new benchmark line in the sand level. Anything above 446.16 keeps the bulls in complete control. We've got an hourly uptrend, and QQQ's doing the same thing. Same chart. So line in the sand support, 371.97, strong close, blue sky, breakout, bulls in absolute control. So with that, on Friday we saw most individual sectors showing a lot of strength. The healthcare sector did not, but the financial sector, tech sector, the growth names, and the small caps and IWM, all very strong. Today, XLF took a breather. We hit a new all-time high, but not much follow through. The all-time high was 38.95. We broke it by 6 pennies on Friday, and then we broke it by 3 pennies, the new level, today, into a big pullback. But we were also extended. You know, our last daily consolidation was 37.22. I was anticipating more likely than not we would see a tightening range here, but we just V-shaped to a new all-time high, just like SPY. So anything above 37.22 will be a daily higher low, keeping the trend in favor of the bulls. We do have to keep an eye on resistance breaks that lack follow through. So we will be keeping an eye on this resistance line, but the daily uptrend is what matters most, and it is still holding firm for the bulls. So when I talk about rotation, again, it's so beautifully orchestrated to keep the market strong. And we can see here on XLF, green days. This was a red day because of the gap down, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 green days here, and then a red day. Look at XLV. 5 red days in a row and a green day. It's almost inverse. XLF was ripping higher on a big bounce while XLV cooled off. We have now set a daily higher low on XLV, and XLV is bouncing today while XLF cools off, just taking turns. And the pullback on XLF was almost directly matched by the green day in QQQ, down 1.4, up 1.12. It was closer right before the close, but XLV picking up the slack, leading to SPY strength. So the daily uptrend still intact on XLV. Higher low was 133.80. Now it is 134.41. If the bears were going to prove anything to us, we would have to fail the all-time high at 137 and confirm a daily downtrend, which would mean zoom out because it's time for weekly consolidation again. And like so many names holding weekly EMA 12, that would be our first guide that we look to if we confirm a daily downtrend. If not, we're looking right back up at the all-time highs. IWM standing out. So last week we talked about the fear reset in SPY, where the period of consolidation on SPY for a few days for 2 to 4% has happened a few times in the last couple months. And each time IWM has done this. This was the second time it happened, and this was the third time it happened. And now here we've got the fourth. So we can say out of these 4 times that it's happened, it's looking like it's most similar to the biggest and best time it happened for the bulls. So we confirmed a daily trend change with a higher low and higher high. We confirmed a weekly trend change with a hold of support and break of resistance. And now the question is IWM a monthly bull flag about to see new all-time highs? And if the S&P 500 and the broader market is going to keep grinding higher, perhaps it means some rotation back into these smaller caps, looking for growth bulls to see some follow through. So a monthly inside bar is likely going to form. It's got 1 day left. And then if the monthly inside bar breaks bull, we're going to be right back at the all-time high. I've been watching IWM for correlation on our growth names ever since I noticed this SPY reset pattern. And that's now my guide. I find it a better guide and more clear for these growth names. And XBI we know has been a growth name. V-shaped bounce off the low, higher low every day for the last 7 days, held monthly support. but it is shaping up for the potential of some daily consolidation to begin. If we break 130.109, we'll keep an eye out for hourly oversold conditions, scouting a daily higher low, and keeping an eye on the EMAs as well. And again, IWM, pullback day today. So there's some of our rotation going on. Growth names pulled back, and big tech had a day of it today. So XBI was red. I haven't looked at all these names. TAN was green. Solar sector doing well. ARKK, green as well. So some growth names had a pretty solid day. PLTR, upper wick of profit taking. So a little bit of green in growth. But if you look at big tech, Apple, monster all-time high day. Google, big all-time high, a little bit of an upper wick of profit taking. Amazon continues its bounce, big time day there. Facebook, big day, all-time highs. So a lot of strength in big tech today. That's where it was standing out the most as far as the best bulls, the biggest bulls. So one other thing about the biotech sector, you see it's been bouncing over the last 3, 6 days, 7 days. And we won't include today. 6 days of bounce. And if you look at some of our bigger names, so we've been consolidating for 2 months, and then we had a 6-day bounce. And if you look at our bigger cap biotech names, PFE, massive run up for weeks, 6 weeks, however long, and then 6 days of pullback. So 6 days of red here, essentially, and mRNA has been trading sideways for 6 days. So to me, it looks a little bit like rotation out of our big cap names that are traded on the NASDAQ and these other exchanges, and the S&P 500 smaller biotechs seeing some inflow. So again, just rotation from the bigger names that have been running hard in blue sky breakout into the names that have not been running hard and have been consolidating. The dollar, actually the MJ sector. So I put out an in-depth video on the MJ sector over the weekend. It's a half-hour long. I'm not going to go in-depth because I said everything that I can say about the sector there. But the number one thing is the bulls must prove it. And right now they're not doing so. So I can say that if CGC does not break $18 this week, the bears are in complete control, in complete comfort. And if USMJ MSOS does not break 33.47, again, same thing. The bulls must prove it. So I'm watching for a momentum shift, but I'm not cutting the bulls any slack, and they are extremely weak still. And I'm watching for them to potentially be laggards to other growth names if we get some confidence back in IWM and growth, but no sign of it at this point. The dollar is still consolidating after breaking the rising wedge bearish. We're looking at weekly consolidation underway and watching to see, can the bulls maintain the weekly uptrend as the metals pulled back a little bit today, but they're both still in uptrends at this point. So keeping a close eye on the dollar, just watching to see if this monthly trend change has follow through, or if it's a monthly trend change with zero follow through, which would be notable to us if that were the case. A couple individual names. We're still watching these Chinese names. Baba, we had our low, 15% bounce, and it's now looking like a higher low may be set here. We broke the low of Friday, but no follow through. We broke it by 32 cents. So if we break the high of today tomorrow, it'll be a convincing daily higher low, and we'll then watch for a tightening range. Because of the retracement size, I'm looking for a daily lower high compared to 174.15. And that's where retracement size is so important to us. Because if we retrace 30 to 50%, we're looking for a trend change. But because we retraced over 50% and more like 70%, that's when we then look for a daily lower high to be the most likely result and continue tightening range. But continuing to watch the Chinese names, KWeb, daily higher low trying to form here. KWeb setting up for a daily trend change attempt. When's the last time we saw a daily higher low and higher high? It's been a very long time, back here. So it's been 3 months since that has happened. Baidu holding on better than Baba. Look at the retracement. That's a potential for a trend change. So not falling asleep on the Chinese names. They had a big flash of bull euphoria for a couple days. Now it's putting in the hard work of sustainable follow through and keeping the scales tilted. Remember, it was all demand versus supply. And then for that 3-day bounce, it was all supply versus demand. And then for that 3-day bounce, demand far exceeded supply. And then it started going back like this. And now bulls are trying to hold it like this to enter a daily uptrend. and start putting pressure on shorts. Netflix, we went over the cup and handle pattern from the end of the week video last week, and it's following through beautifully. So we got the bull break, daily bull flag, inside bar bull break of 555.55 was a bull break of 557.54. So now we do still have a little bit of a resistance zone here we want to keep an eye on, but we're looking good. Today was a nice confidence builder, and we had a lot of resistance, 563 to 567. And you can see we're still right there. We're at the top of that little window. And if we can clear 567, we're then looking at 568's right there as well. We're going to call it 568. We're looking at a lack of resistance until all-time highs. But it's a beautiful cup and handle. And this morning we held hourly support. You can see the low of today, 556.45. We held hourly support from Friday by $1 and then saw continuation. So really nice follow through. Again, cup and handle, the most mislabeled pattern. I don't know what I got to do to get some attention from Twitter, but I post the setup of the cup and handle before it plays out, and then it plays out, and just nobody cares. I don't know what they want. They want pictures of goats. I don't know what. But Twitter does not care about patterns posted in advance that follow through. So hopefully some people here gain some information. And if anything else, even if you didn't trade it, it's just a perfect example of a cup and handle when there's a world of bad examples out there of cup and handles. So big tech in the lead. We'll see if IWM can keep the daily uptrend to try and continue grinding up towards that all-time high. It is only about 4% away from that all-time high. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. I appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe and all that fun stuff, and we'll see you tomorrow. Giving all my extra produce to the turkeys who've been eating it. And we had a bear out here. There was actually a new mother turkey with 6 babies. A bit late. There was a big black bear right here the other morning. And he ran off that way. The corner princess tree is at it again. Chop it down again soon, and we'll do it again next year. We went from 1 trunk to 4 trunks this year. We'll see what next year brings. This dogwood is starting to put on some fruit. Those are edible, but tastes kind of like a gritty peach. This is where the turkeys do their dirt bathing. So they scraped up everything, and you can see all their feathers. But I've walked by here, and there's been 10 turkeys just laying out, spread out. Social gathering spot. Doing some more prep work for the hurricane aftermath that's coming our way, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as last time. I think we're just going to get a few inches over 2 days as opposed to, I think we had, I don't know, 10 or 12 inches in just a couple days last time. Digging out pipes.